I'm working with women on basically like how to love themselves, especially Russian women, because like what's happening is there's so much identity that has to do with like, oh, if I don't have a partner, I'm not myself.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I think that every woman deserves to, first of all, love herself, understand what she is capable of in this world, and not have to associate that specifically with I am worthy of being a good person based on like I got a good partner. Like there's a lot of that kind of stuff. So the processes are similar because it's all about like finding self-confidence. It's like, okay, who are you? What are you? And then like digging deep and being able to ask yourself the questions that are important to yourself. What do you want to do with your life? What's the most important thing for you? Why, like, how do you see yourself? What, like, so much of our culture is all about like running after the money tree. What would happen if you had all the money in the world? How would you spend your days? Like knowing you, it would probably be similar to what you do already,
exactly.
right? So like I still have to check myself on that. I still find myself like, oh man, I really need to get shit going. I'm like, wait a second, do I? Maybe not. Like maybe what I'm doing is good. And maybe part of that is also like living in the spiritual community of Ubud of like, wait a second, like when I'm in my parasympathetic, when I'm in my spiritual, when I'm in my relaxed state, I'm more effective than when I'm like pressuring myself into like, and that's a lot of the work that I do with them. There's a lot of layers to it. There's something called emoting. There's something called like I want them to write. I want them to explore themselves. I want them to reflect on what's going on. And I want them to also discover their own personality. Because a lot of like, not even about women, it's like relationships in general. We meet somebody, we're like attracted to them, we're like, you know, like I want some of that. Tingle. And we start to behave like we think they want us to behave. So slow the fuck down. Learn how to fall in love. So you're not getting hooked in to like, we all get addicted to like that adrenaline and that like endorphins of sex and the serotonin of sex. And then when we get past the sex, we start realizing, oh, this is who this person is at the end of the day. And then what happens, I mean, it depends. Like I'm, talking to a guy, that like Renard's who just wants to go bang sometimes.
Hey, but no. It's all about making friends first. This is the thing what I can add straight away from my perspective. Like I've been through the phase of getting, let's get laid and stuff like that. But then for now, like more and more I understand it's all about, it sounds very like lovey-dovey, but if I don't like that person as a friend, I don't even go any further. And like and having that experience of just having one night stands, like even with like the hottest girl ever, whatever, it usually 95% it's unfulfilling and it doesn't feel good afterwards.
Exactly. And the thing that comes up a lot when I speak to my clients, I'm like listening to their behaviors and I'm like, okay, interesting. And then I ask them this question: are you looking for a long-term relationship? And they're like, yes. And as soon as we start to think about the fact that we're looking for a long-term relationship, the way we behave changes right away. The goal isn't to just hook somebody in and get codependent on them so that we don't lose them tomorrow. But that's how we behave a lot of times. It's like, oh my God, I found somebody who's attractive and somebody that's so cool. How do I hold on to them? Like that is, right? Yeah. So it's like, yo, slow down. Take your time. Let's see if this person has credibility. Let's see if and let's see if you have credibility. Let's see if this person has the capacity to hold your space when you're freaking out and allow you and them to have a conversation where you can like problem solve together, right? That's when things shift. I had a conversation with a client recently where I was like, well, give me your checklist. She's like, I got a checklist. I know exactly what I want in a man. I'm like, give me your checklist. And she gives me her checklist. And like her checklist is like things like, I want him to be tall. I want him to be rich. I want him to be funny. I want him to be to be ambitious. I want him to be. And I'm like, okay, now tell me like about this guy that you're dating right now. And she's like, well,
Is that your phone?
No. Oh shit, is it? It is my phone. That's the alarm set. Anyhow, sorry about that. Imagine that happened on the Joe Rogan show.
Oh shit, he would kick your ass. He would do a kimura on your dick.